Hello friends, today I want to cover in detail what are the 5 key performance indicators in sales. So what are the 5 key performance indicators as it relates to sales? Well, by the end of this session, you'll not only identify the top KPIs, but you'll understand how to effectively use them to propel your sales figures and achieve remarkable growth. Imagine being able to pinpoint exactly what's working and what's not in your sales process, and having the power to be able to focus on exactly what moves the needle. Have you ever felt overwhelmed with data and not knowing what to focus on? Are you using the right metrics to gauge your success, or missing out on key insights that could transform your sales outcome? Well, let's demystify the top 5 KPIs that are guaranteed to clarify your sales strategy and optimize your results. I will first dive into what KPIs are and why they matter to your sales organization. Next, we will look at the 5 top key performance indicators and identify why they are important to your sales company. If you're ready, let's go. So what are key performance indicators and why do they even matter? KPIs are key performance indicators. These are key metrics in your organization that essentially identify the health of your sales organization. It would be like your blood pressure, your temperature, or your oxygen saturation for your physical health. If one of those is out of whack, there's something wrong and there's more of a story to be told. And something probably needs further examination. And sales KPIs are no different. If one of them are out of whack, then your business, and especially your sales, definitely need further examination. Essentially, they tell the story of why sales performance is essentially doing well or not doing so well. Now, understanding which KPIs are specific and important for your business are absolutely crucial and vital to determine your sales organization's health. You know, early on in one of the organizations that we started that was strictly a sales organization, we realized that there were some KPIs that were really important for us. Because if you think about it, just starting out in sales, your whole goal is just to get sales. Now, if you're not getting sales or you are getting sales, what's determining the difference between one rep or another rep, or one organization or another organization, or one team or another team that is performing and one that isn't performing? Because if you just gauge it off of sales, you're not going to be able to tell the underlying story, which is so important, that is crucial for determining key performance indicators. You know, and early on we determined this. We knew that there were certain activities that, if done correctly, would lead towards sales. As long as we trained reps and we brought them up and continually worked to improve their skill set, we knew that if we followed these certain activities, that sales would come. And that was phone time and dials. We knew that if a rep had a certain amount of phone time, along with a certain amount of dials every single day on average, typically they were sending over X amount of sets, appointments set, which turned into X amount of closes, which turned into X amount of sales. So we knew that if we tracked those things, we would eventually see sales bubble to the top, but it was done by determining those KPIs that were important for our organization. Now, I've done quite a bit of research when it comes to the top 5 KPIs for sales organizations, and there's a lot of publications out there with a wide range of different KPIs, anywhere from the top 5 to the top 31, and nothing sounds more overwhelming to me than trying to manage 31 KPIs. So that's why we want to break it down to the top 5, and over all those publications, there were some that continually rose to the top as key performance indicators that sales organizations should really watch out for. And that's really where I want to focus and spend the rest of the time on this video specifically. So first off, when it comes to a key performance indicator for sales, the top one to look at is almost always conversion rate. Conversion rate lets you know which rep is maybe performing the best. So how many potential customers are being converted to sales? So whether it's a lead group that's converting more potential customers to sales, or it's sales representatives that are converting more potential customers to actually customers, that conversion rate is going to tell you which one is performing the best. And across most sales organizations, conversion rate is kind of the coup de grace of all metrics, because it lets you know what's being converted from the marketing money that is spent to dollars being brought in to transform those marketing dollars into customers. The second one that I think is really important for organizations is lifetime value of a customer. So what is lifetime value of a customer? It is how much revenue, repeat business, or any other positive financial or brand value gain that a customer brings to your business over that customer's lifetime. See, customers have value over a period of time when they're within your organization. For example, think about organizations or companies that you've spent a lot of money with over the time. I look at Audible.com. I've been paying $14.95 a month for over 15 years. So the lifetime value of me as a customer to them is pretty great. I don't know what that overall value is, but I've definitely spent a lot of money with that organization over the last 15 years. So how does this help your business? Once you have a customer, it's so much easier to convert that customer who has already bought something from you you and maybe knows, likes, and trusts your business to buy something else. So being able to keep that customer in your ecosystem and continuing to spend money on products or services is extremely valuable for any organization. The third KPI I like to look at is average sales number, or for a business-to-business organization, it would be average contract value. Understanding the price that your customer is paying for your service on average can be extremely useful for your business. Knowing that number might help you understand if additional products or services could be added to the order form and potentially increase those numbers from an average dollar amount of X to an average dollar amount that's 10, 20, or 30% above that. It also tells a pretty good story about which reps are performing or outperforming other sales reps. So for example, if you've got a rep that has a continual average sales amount of say $6,000, $7,000, and one has an average sale rate of $3,000, what is this rep doing that this rep isn't? That's where you can listen to this rep's calls to see what this rep is doing, so then you can take the skill set or confidence or questions this person is asking and implement it into this sales rep. If you can go around and improve every sales rep's average sales amount from an average across the board by 10, 20%, your business is really going to start to flourish. The fourth KPI that I think is really important is show rate. Now, what do I mean by show rate? Show rate is when there's an appointment made by a customer or by a sales rep for a customer to be at a certain place in time, and that customer actually shows up, that is crucial to your organization, because if you have a very low show rate, you're not going to have the opportunity to present your company's products or services or to maybe get this potential prospect to be a customer of yours. One of the most challenging things as a sales representative is having those actual appointments show up on your calendar and show up for the appointment. Whether you're a financial advisor, a realtor, or a high-end sales rep, a show rate is extremely vital to know to not only increase sales, but also increase sales performance. Think about it. If you had the ability to do your presentation to 100% of the people on your calendar, how much would that improve your sales and the organizational sales overall? And how much would that boost the confidence of the sales reps working within your organization? Obviously, in our organization, in our business, a show rate is really important. And one thing we started to do to help improve that was having somebody not associated with the appointment made or closing the sale call that person just to confirm the appointment. And so if we could confirm the appointment, we found out the day before, the morning of, that was going to be a big way to help confirm those appointments, because everybody gets busy in life. And if they realize that they've got an appointment, we actually did a little bit of work upstream beforehand. When we made the appointment, we said, listen, however you make your appointment, whether it's on your phone or you have a calendar, please go in there right now and put this on your calendar so nothing else gets in its way. And then confirming that with a call just to say, hey, just confirming your appointment today. We're super excited. We've got a lot of stuff planned out to go over with you and excited to have you be on that call today. Looking forward to you being there. All those things helped improve the show rate. And we knew that by improving the show rate, our sales and numbers would increase. The fifth and final KPI that I think is important is an activity metric or activity rate. Now, this is a completely subjective one and one that differs from one sales organization to another. But I believe that every company has certain activities that if sales reps do will lead towards sales. Whether it's prospecting or in the world that we live in phone sales, it's dials and phone time. And for other businesses, it might be sending out emails or collecting referrals. But whatever that activity metric is for your organization, that if a sales rep does it, that will lead towards the potential outcome of a sale for a prospective customer, then that is the activity that you need to measure within your organization. And as I mentioned, for each company, it's probably a little bit different. The one for us in our organization where we're on the phone is phone time and dials. So think about it. What is that activity within your business that if done on a regular basis at a high level will lead towards an increase in sales? Now, these are things that we've seen done in our organization that have worked well for us. I'd be really interested in what you've done, what you've seen. What are your 5 key performance indicators that drive your business forward? Please comment below. Let's engage in a dialogue. And as always, just for stopping by and watching the video, I've got a 100% free, no obligation gift for you. It's normally $1,000. It's our 10-part module series called Sales and Persuasion. We use it for all of our sales reps to train them, to help get them performing at a very high level. All you have to do is click on the link below, aaronsalestraining.com. And once again, thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.